What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 4 of the Jimmy Resto series in partnership with O'Reilly Auto Parts. In this video, we're going to be giving the Jimmy its keyless entry system back. Towards the end of last episode, I mentioned that this was going to be an exterior detailing video, but the weather in North Carolina lately has been less than ideal, so we're going to have a little bit of fun and do something different. So the other day I was hunting through some salvage yards trying to find interior parts for this custom S10 crew cab I bought a little while back, and I came across a Jimmy that still had both of its original key fobs, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So then the gears started turning and I was like, well, I wonder if this Jimmy has a keyless entry system, because it was actually optional, and even though this is a top-of-the-line SLT, it was still more a la carte back in the day, so you could opt to have keyless or not. The great thing about the internet is that with enough research, you can pretty much find anything. But when it comes to older vehicles like this and trying to figure out what factory options were originally equipped, it can be a little difficult if you don't still have the original window sticker. Now, you can do things like VIN decoding and all of that good stuff, but GM actually made it really easy on these vehicles because in the glove box, there's a sticker that lists all of the RPO codes. RPO stands for Regular Production Option, and by the power of the internet, I found this massive PDF that had all of GM's RPO codes in it. It's almost endless. It's pretty gnarly. I basically just had to start plugging in those codes in the search function until I found the one that I needed, which was AX3, Lock Control Keyless Entry System, which, if you look at the top, it's right there. This is such an awesome thing to have in here. If you look up the other codes, GU6 indicates a 3.42 axle ratio, 44U indicates the primary color, which is forest green metallic, and 90L indicates the secondary color, which is a metallic gray. After verifying that this indeed originally came with keyless entry, I wanted to verify that the transponder unit was still in the interior. I was looking at my factory service manual and discovered that the transponder was located underneath the center console. Again, this is an older vehicle. I didn't know if it was removed at some point or if it was not working or whatever, but it's really easy to take this console out, and I'll show you guys where it is. Just got to pull up on the cup holders right here. That is very disgusting in there. We got a lot of stuff to do for the interior detailing video, but there are 4 screws holding down this console, 2 at the front. The other 2 are located in the center console. So with those 4 screws out, the console just lifts up. Super simple. It's also very dirty. And right under there, you can see the little black box and wire harness for the keyless entry system. Before I try pairing anything to the Jimmy, just as a precautionary measure, I'm going to go ahead and replace the batteries in both fobs so we don't have to worry about it for quite some time. It's really easy to do, too. Just take a flat blade screwdriver and put it in between the 2 halves, twist it a little bit, and the halves will separate. These fobs use 2 batteries each. When you go to the store, there's going to be a lot of batteries to choose from. To ensure that you get the right one, look on the battery that you pull out of the fob and there should be a number on it. These say 2016. That indicates the series or size. I'm not sure the exact terminology, but you would match up the number to the new one on the shelf and just swap them in. It's plug and play. One thing you may not realize, and truth be told, I didn't realize this till the other day, but O'Reilly carries a huge line of replacement key fobs that are a fraction of what you would pay at a typical dealership. They offer the complete fobs that have the circuit boards and stuff like that you would program, but they also carry shells. So if your shell gets damaged but your internals are still good, you can swap everything over, and of course, it'll be a lot cheaper. If you go to the store and you don't see your make and model, just ask for it. Most likely they can order it for you. Best of all, they're super simple to set up. You could do it yourself, and, to program a fob, it takes as little as 5 minutes. So now we need to put the Jimmy into programming mode, and for that, we need to get a little creative with the data link connector here. It's underneath the driver's side portion of the dash. Basically, what we want to do is take a paper clip or a piece of metal wire, like you see here, and link up the upper right-hand port to the lower left-hand port. And when we do that, the locks should cycle. Just like that. Now the Jimmy is in programming mode. With the Jimmy in programming mode, we just need to take one of our remotes and hit the lock button. It's cycled again, that means it's paired. Now we'll just take out that metal wire. And we can double check to make sure everything works as it should. So lock, awesome, unlock, once for the driver's door, second time for the rest of the doors. Fantastic. And rear glass. Rear glass. Rear glass doesn't want to open. All right, let's see if the button on the dash is working. Nope. All right, looks like we got to do a little bit of troubleshooting real quick. So there's a little solenoid inside the tailgate here that we need to check out. So just get this open manually. And those still need to be fixed. Anyway, we got to get this panel off. It's just held in by a bunch of screws, so let's get at it. Looking at the tailgate a little bit closer, let's just pull this plastic wrap off. This is the latch assembly, and the solenoid that we need to get at is right here. I think the solenoid is just bad. I guess it's electrically operated. Once it activates, it pulls a metal cable, which then releases the catch to open up the glass. There's also a lever in there that opens up the tailgate. So we need to take this apart, we need to take this apart, and see what's going on. So since I was thinking this might be a solenoid or motor problem, whatever you want to call this little thing, I decided to revisit the parts Jimmy the other day to see if it had a working unit, and thankfully it did. So I swapped out the old one for the one in the parts Jimmy. It's just temporarily hooked up right now, so let's try the remote and see if it works. Nope, it does not, but see, okay, so that works. So this still doesn't work. It's not an issue with that, so let's look into it a little bit more. Back at the parts Jimmy to try something else out. So I was pressing the button, trying to listen for any noises or anything like that, and the relay, you can see that little white block right there, was clicking. This is the one that came out of it. It looks really nice, but you know, maybe the relay was the problem, so I took that one out of the parts Jimmy, and now we're actually getting some noise at the back. I know it's probably impossible to see in there, but even though we're getting some action, the solenoid just is not pulling that metal wire as hard as it needs to. I got it in the lock position right now to see if it would pop it. And it's not, so I think we might have to swap out the solenoid after all. All right, let's try this again. Because this grounds out on the tailgate, I have to screw it in, but that's the cable we're looking for. Ooh, that sounds much better. Moment of truth time. I swapped out that middle cable right there so it's nice and secure. Let's see if it unlocks. All right. That is awesome. Woohoo! Double check the button up front. Awesome. And for the final test, fantastic. Don't you just love it when a plan comes together? It's pretty wild to think that it was a combo problem. Both the solenoid and the relay were bad, but it really, really pays in a case like this to have a parts vehicle. I've saved a lot of money with that thing so far, but anyway, I have cleaned up the hinge assembly with a wire brush. It's looking really nice. Got it coated in WD-40 so we don't have to worry about sticking. Now we just got to put it all back together, and I think she'll be good to go. Well, everyone, that pretty much concludes this video. I hope y'all enjoyed. It's such a little detail, but it makes a huge difference. Plus, we got the cool factor of being able to find these in a salvage yard and figuring out a way to reprogram them for use in the Jimmy, so I'm pretty pumped. Plus, we fixed that issue with the back glass so we can actually take advantage of the powered function now, which is awesome. A huge thanks to those of you who have been following the series. I really appreciate it. And of course, a big thanks to O'Reilly Auto Parts for supporting the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, consider doing so. There's always a lot more where that came from. And if you do, don't forget to hit that little notification bell so you can be updated about new videos. Don't forget to leave a like below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.